before we start talking about any movies, I want to do a quick shout out to Nick, aka Sonicon, Sonicon. He is a artist slash vaporwave artist slash all other type of electronic music. Super cool. He's the one who did the theme song for us.
Hell yeah.
Although the title of that song is, I believe, Dark Harvest, it's him who made it. Mm-hmm. And it's really cool they let us use it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Will, who was the inspiration for the title for We Be Watching Films.
Yeah, which...
Though he has a note.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way it's supposed to be pronounced is We Be Watching Films, huh? So keep that in mind.
Instead of We Be Watching Films.
Yeah.
It's We Be Watching Films, huh?
I mean, that's how he says it, but I'm sure if we're not consistent, it'll be okay. But the point is, shout out to him because he's the one who kind of came up with the title.
Yeah.
It's a run-on joke that he does. And last up, shout out to Becca.
Yeah, of course.
Who did the cover art, which is super cool.
Hell yeah.
You can follow her at Baked at Bees. She makes a lot of really cool like pastries that are
cakes
designed like shit that you didn't think a cookie could be made out of. She did some Evil Dead cookies. She's done ones that look like cats. She did one that looks like ass. Like literal beautiful ass.
Yeah.
That she did for my birthday, and it was super cool. She even did a We Be Watching Films cookie, which I totally forgot about, that I ate, and it was delicious.
Oh, cool.
I know I have a photo of it saved somewhere.
Oh, man.
If I find it, I will bring it up. All right, so Jeff.
Yeah.
What do we be doing?
We be watching films, huh?
There you go. We're back. Sooner than later.
Hell yeah.
They said we wouldn't be back, but here we are.
Shout out to everyone who listened to the first episode.
Yeah, all 10 of you.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And we're here to watch. We're here to talk about two movies that we've seen a couple times. We just rewatched them. And for a while, they were the scariest movies I had ever seen. They are still very scary.
Yeah.
In fact, I have all the lights on while we're recording.
Yeah.
For the fact that I do not want to be scared while recording this.
Well, here's the thing, is that last week we did fun horror. You know, the relics of fun monster movies.
Yeah, we're talking about Chicago and stuff like that.
It's a fun episode. This is like horror.
Yeah.
Like you in the big leagues now, kid.
And the theme is also found footage.
Yeah.
Found footage
or
slash
fake documentary. Mockumentary.
Is it fake? The movies we're talking about are Noroi, The Curse, and Lake Mungo.
Yeah.
Which I think we should talk about Lake Mungo last.
Yeah, yeah.
But let's start out with Noroi, The Curse, a movie that maybe some of you have never heard of. I think it's gotten a little more popular ever since Shudder picked it up.
Yeah.
Although, when I first heard of it, it was like during the boom of found footage films.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I remember Googling top 10 best found footage movies or underrated found footage horror. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there were at least two lists that had Noroi the Curse on it. Which right away, that title makes you think, like, I need to see whatever the fuck that is.
And that poster that on IMDb.
Yeah.
The poster on Shudder is like, oh, that's creepy. The poster on IMDb is like, I don't want to post that. Because I don't want to scare everyone on my Facebook.
That's funny. Noroi the Curse, when I first looked it up, I saw the trailer on YouTube, and it freaked me out. It was maybe like 2 a.m.
Oh, man.
And I was just kind of by myself looking at shit on YouTube. And then I decided, you know what? Right under the trailer is the full movie. Let's watch it. So I watched
YouTube,
it. Yeah, I watched it by myself, dead of night, and it scared the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was so effective.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the sense that I'm watching it on YouTube. It's not the best quality.
Yeah.
Like, the YouTube video, it must have been one of those, like, the highest it goes is like 340p.
Oh, jeez.
But that kind of added to it.
Yeah.
Because it made it seem like this is something that I shouldn't be watching.
Made it feel like real found footage.
Yeah, and it feels like something's going to happen to me because I watched it.
Yeah. That's the thing about this movie. This movie scares me so bad that whenever I put it on like a list of like, maybe it's just, this is me being superstitious, where it's like, all right, scariest movies, Noroi the Curse. I feel like if I don't put it at number one, the curse is going to come after me.
Yeah.
So...
And you might be wondering, what is Noroi the Curse about? It's about a demonic curse that's affecting the lives of 4 different characters.
Yeah, there's an actress. There's a little girl who has otherworldly abilities, or not otherworldly, but like psychic abilities,
supernatural abilities.
Yeah. And then there's
she's a little girl in a Japanese horror movie.
There's a psychic who dresses all in aluminum, and then there's the main character who
is a documentary filmmaker
who specializes in like supernatural, like unusual claims.
I'm not familiar with Japanese TV, but it seems like they have a lot of variety shows and a lot of like paranormal variety shows, and he seems to do documentaries like that.
Yeah,
it's like Japanese ghost adventures, except actually scary, and it's seemingly much more competent. That's the main kind of gist of the movie. Yeah. It does take some turns.
It's a bit of a slow build.
Yeah, for sure. And that's something that might turn off some people from it.
Yeah.
Both of the movies that we're going to talk about tonight, I don't think there's a single jump scare in any of them. Lake Mungo, I think, is debatable.
Yeah. Well,
but
when I think jump scare, I think of something popping out suddenly.
Yeah.
And whether it's effective or not. Noroi definitely has some images where you're just like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, Noroi has disturbing images that creep to the back of your skull.
Right.
And just kind of linger there, and you start to see it in your peripherals.
Right.
But it's not going to just be like, boom,
yeah.
here's something scary. Which I think is more effective. And I think the fact that it's low quality, because even on Shudder, I could have sworn when it first hit Shudder, which was 2017, I could have sworn they cleaned it up and made it HD, and we saw it crisp and clear. But watching it today on Shudder, it was in that same YouTube quality that I had seen it so many years ago. So it kind of, I don't want to say anything concretely here. This is all speculation, but it almost seems like they ripped that. Maybe that's the only way to see it, or something like that. Maybe the original copy of it just like no longer exists, or it's cursed or something. But even if you watch it on Shudder, it's gonna be in low quality, and that might be a turnoff. But I think it works in the spooky factor.
I think it works because this movie feels, like you said while we were watching it, I was looking at like the different production designs and like how they make like this, and not to get into the plot, but there's this one house that has like all these different designs on it. I was like, yeah, they had to make all of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, and you were like, yeah, because it feels real. It feels like
this is just a town that they filmed in,
yeah.
And that's how the house had been for years.
Yeah.
I don't really want to go far into the plot as to what happens. This isn't like The Relic or Stir of Echoes in the sense that we could talk about kind of the fun moments of this.
Yeah.
But I will say
fun moments.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Well, what I will say is that they're just stick with it. It is a slow burn, but if you stick with it, it has a pretty good mystery. Mm-hmm. It is scary when you find out what exactly is going on with these people.
Yeah. And
what's causing it. I don't even want to say it, like, because that just it seems like such a cursed word.
Yep.
That even like writing it down might do something.
Don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I don't know. I'm superstitious. I like to believe in ghosts and such. Mm-hmm. But I also like don't believe in ghosts and stuff.
Yeah.
But then it'll be something. It'll be something like this demon in Noroi where it's like, well, I don't even want to pronounce its name because I don't know. Who knows who's listening?
Yeah, man. This that goes back to my whole thing, and I've told you this before, where whenever we see a movie about like demons or exorcism or something like that, and they're or like, well, I don't want to spoil Hereditary, but like there's a like you whenever like they're shouting out some demon's name or like release this demon and they start speaking Latin or like a different language, and it's just like, I'm just worried that this film crew, if I was on there, I would be worried that I was going to actually resurrect a demon.
That's the thing. Like I don't know if this even is a real part of like Japanese folklore or spirituality, anything like that. But I ain't gonna risk it.
No,
unless you want me to.
No. That's all good, man.
My only complaints about this movie, I would say, is there's a segment, because they take footage from the documentarian himself, because he's trying to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
They take footage from different TV programs in Japan that just kind of happen to coincide with what's going on. And some of the footage comes from this Japanese variety show where they're running a segment on kids who might be kind of psychic. Clairvoyant. And that's kind of just to set up the little girl who has powers, sort of.
Yeah.
And I think that runs on just a little too long.
Okay.
To the point that I was looking at my phone, and I even before, because it's noticeably not scary at that point. And the intro is so scary.
Yeah.
That it's like, just give me more of that.
Yeah.
I don't need this break that you're giving to me. Yeah. But then it'll go into something scary again, and then it'll calm down a little bit, and then it'll go into something scary again. This movie will fuck with you if you let it. If you kind of just let it, if you just overthink about it and watch it in the dark, I think it's extremely effective.
It's very effective. It's one. But I mean, can we talk about the sound design in this movie? Because it's so like, I don't like the sounds that I hear in this movie.
Yeah, any kind of like screaming seems amplified more so than it should be. There is just these guttural noises where you're not sure exactly what's producing them. Is it audio feedback? Is it something that's there? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
It all works. And another fun thing you can do with this movie is, if you're gonna watch it with someone and you're listening to this podcast, here's a trick. Fast forward it to 3 minutes, press pause, and when you guys are ready to watch the movie, start watching it from there. Because this has no credits, and there's no indication that this might not be real.
Yeah.
Although, okay, there is some noticeable CG at some points, and noticeable effects, but I don't know, I feel like you could get wrapped up enough to think like, well, I don't know what I'm watching. Is it real? Is it not? It's in Japanese. It's scary.
That's what makes it. I think when I first saw it, I was so gripped by it. I was so scared. I didn't know what was going to happen, that I was just like, this is automatically like one of those, like, I don't want to overhype it, but just like one of those all-time scary, like, whoa, have you seen that?
Yeah, it's definitely not for the only horror movies that I watch are like Blumhouse films or like the Conjuring universe.
Yeah.
Not to say that those aren't scary and not to be snobs, but those are primarily driven by jump scares, and
Conjuring is really scary.
This isn't that type of horror.
Yeah.
This is, if anything, this is a good introduction to slow burn horror.
Mm-hmm.
That's more so atmospheric than anything else.
More dread than
Yeah.
It's just kind of slowly enveloping you over 2 hours.
Enveloping.
And what did I say? Enveloping?
Yeah. It's putting you in mail and it's shipping you off. Turn off the lights. Put it on full screen. Put some headphones. If you know what, for an even more kind of suck you in experience.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's an actual word for that. Immersive. There we go.
There we go.
For a more immersive experience, put on some headphones and play this on your laptop.
Yeah.
You may think, I don't remember pressing play on this movie. Is this a file that someone sent me?
Yeah, I feel like...
And if you want it even more immersive, copy this movie onto a USB and leave it somewhere. It'll give someone the fright of their life.
I think two things I want to mention. First of all, there's a fun little game you can play where it's like, that's the theme song from The Thing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They just used it in the movie. It's kind of like when Reanimator did the theme for Psycho, but not really.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of.
I guess one of the only kind of moments that takes you out if you've seen The Thing
Yeah.
is that there is a part where they use the soundtrack, and if that's not the soundtrack, it sounds so much like
Right.
it that it's like there's no way it's not.
And I feel like when you first showed me this, I don't know if when you first talked about it, you said you only found it on YouTube. And I feel like finding it on Shudder kind of legitimizes it, where like, oh, it's a movie no, it's an actual movie. Whereas if you just found it on YouTube, it would be like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Right.
So I guess maybe, like you're saying, like maybe if you want to traumatize a friend, just don't tell them, hey,
put it
just
on.
put it on.
Fast forward to 3 minutes in. It's not even that like the opening has credits or anything like that. It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's more so that it just kind of sets up a framing device that I feel like is unnecessary.
Yeah, okay.
Especially for the way that the movie ends. Which, oh shit, the ending.
Yeah.
That has some imagery that I always kind of dread seeing, and it still freaks me out today.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be as effective, but nah, it definitely was.
It's definitely freaky and disturbing.
It's a good conclusion, I'd say.
It is.
Which leaves it off as a genuinely good horror movie and not just like a shocking found footage movie or like like a gimmick film or anything like that. No, it's worth watching all around.
Yeah. Oh, of course. I think that's why we're talking about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, Noroi, probably the best movie ever made. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. No deep dish pizza this time. I don't know. 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. This is the only J-horror that we know. Or at least I know.
I was going to say, this is the only J-horror that you know. Then again, I'm not too deep into it. I mean, Ringu, Ju-on. That's where they end. That's all 3.
Oh, damn.
No, I'm kidding. It's a great genre.
Yeah.
And this is a lesser seen J horror movie for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's definitely got bite.
And you know what though? Also for J horror, it doesn't really follow the tropes aside from a few. Like there's no long black-haired ghost or anything like that either.
Yeah.
This has its own kind of thing that I thought was pretty unique. It's way more
disturbing than a black-haired ghost.
I would say also this is better than something like Paranormal Activity. I just watched Paranormal Activity again for the first time in fucking forever.
Yeah.
And I can't stand that movie. That shit is so goddamn annoying. Shout out to Katie for being hot as fuck. But aside from that, aside from seeing a cool Lost Deschanel sister, there's like... her boyfriend is so fucking annoying that it makes it almost intolerable to watch.
Well, it was a
and it's just not scary.
It was a found footage phenomenon, much like the Blair Witch Project, but the Blair Witch Project were both kind of hit and miss on, as we discussed in the last episode. Although Blair Witch Project does have that ending, which is amazing.
Right.
I remember watching Paranormal Activity 3, and it's on Amazon Prime. I've been meaning to rewatch it because I remember liking it. But I don't know if I'll like it. That was like 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
If you have to watch one of the Paranormal Activity movies, check out what's
Marked
the Mexican
ones?
one? Yeah, there we go. The Marked Ones. Paranormal Activity on the Marked Ones, which I feel like a lot of people ignored. It's actually kind of funny and entertaining and does something different.
4.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't gonna, but yeah, I'll make sure not to check out 4. But this is better than the first one.
Yeah,
This is better than most of the series, actually.
It's an actual. There's an actual story and there's actual creepy imagery and not that okay. I think this is what gets me into like if we're talking about Blumhouse horror. The thing about the paranormal activity movies is that I like 3 and 2 is alright.
2 is fucking garbage.
I haven't
couldn't
seen it in like
stand
10 years.
All right, we're going.
But I think they don't really show a lot of things in Paranormal Activity, whereas like a movie that's really like effective to me is the Insidious movies, because they'll give you a jump scare, but it's actually something creepy.
It's not a cat.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's not just a chair moving. You'll see like, I don't know, Tiny Tim playing, and you'll see that little kid dancing, and you're like, what the hell is that?
What is that?
I guess
Hollywood?
seeing is believing for me.
Hollywood, if you're hearing this, can we please get a doll horror movie where the doll actually moves around and does shit?
Right?
Like Child's Play was pretty cool. I like the remake of Child's Play. I think that was fun.
Really, yeah.
But I just give me a possessed ass doll that just goes around like dolls
like the
from the
Gordon
80s,
movie,
the Stuart Gordon movie, or even Dolly Dearest, which is I want to say a full moon picture. It's creepy though. It's pretty creepy. Like the doll is sometimes played by just a little woman or possibly little girl. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's someone in a doll costume, and it's kind of creepy. I want some shit like that.
Yeah,
and I only say that because you were mentioning like chair moving and stuff like that. Like I'm tired of ghost movies like that too. Like no, show me an apparition. I know it's a movie.
Yeah.
Create a scary face or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Noroi has scary faces in it.
It has a very scary face. I do not like that face.
It has a face that's pretty effective to the point where one day my mom dressed up my little brother as Darth Maul. And she was taking photos of him. Mm-hmm. And one of them came out kind of blurry and skewed. Mm-hmm. And it looked like the face straight out of Noroi. And it freaked her out so much that she like immediately deleted it.
Oh man.
I wish she hadn't.
Oh man.
But I remember being like, oh, let me see that again. She was like, no. She just got rid of it like right away.
Oh man. Yeah,
so, yeah,
I would
5 out of
too.
5 out of 5 deep dish pizzas.
Hell yeah.
Next up
is an Australian movie.
An Australian film
Down Under.
Once again, if you're listening to this, it's 100% true, and fast forward to 1 minute and 30 seconds and then start playing it from there. It is all true.
You did that to me. The first time you showed me this movie, you did that to me and
other
Tyrone,
friends.
Other friends. And
it works that way. I've done that every time I've shown this to somebody.
I was like, because the thing about Lake Mungo is about an Australian family named the Palmers. Their teenage daughter Alice drowns in not Lake Mungo. That comes later in the movie, but she drowns in a lake, and the brother is starting to take up photography, and he notices there might be a ghost of his sister in one of his photographs, and that's when they do the paranormal activity thing. They set up cameras to see if the house is haunted, and it goes from there.
However, this movie is straight up documentary.
Yeah.
Like, they'll have sit-down interviews intercut with footage of, ghost photography that they've taken.
Yeah. What?
Oh, I was hoping you would kind of take it away. I had to burp.
Oh. Yeah, but that's the thing about this this man... Talk about this and Noroi. We had to talk about these two together because they really make it seem like this is a real documentary.
Yeah.
Like, it has really great cinematography, but it has also news footage that looks old and from like 2005, and you're like, and they use old school, I'm saying, but like technology from like 15 years ago.
Yeah, like Nokia
phones.
Videos, which makes for one of the most effective horror scenes I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
The really the less we talk about, the better. But yeah, go on.
Well, I just want to say, like, having seen this movie a couple times now, I really love it. It is a good family drama about grief, while also being a really creepy movie because they'll present an image, and then you're like, oh, it's just a family, and then they'll zoom in on one side of the screen, and you're like, why are you like, what the hell is that?
Both of these movies have this kind of thing to them where they remind me of going through YouTube at an early age. Like the early YouTube where I would just stay up till like 4 a.m. looking up scary videos. Because Noroi is a lot like top 10 scariest Japanese urban legends or something like that. Like it's a full length version of one of those videos.
Yeah.
And Lake Mungo is top 10 scariest ghost photos.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a full length documentary about something like that. And the ghost photography in the movie, super effective.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, having seen it before, I'm looking for it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit, there it is.
It still gives me chills. Yeah, I'm getting chills thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
If you're afraid of ghosts, if you're like already into movies like that, I think this is gonna be kind of a fresh watch.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, you think of ghost movies, you think you think Insidious and fucking Conjuring and all this other shit. But this is just the fact that it's a documentary. It needs to find different ways to scare you, and I think it does.
It's an effective story, also. Like,
yeah, it's a good mystery.
And turns.
You think it's going one direction, then changes on you, and then it changes on you again.
There is one thing I will say. Is they'll zoom in on a really pixelated footage, and I was like, oh, that's this person. I was like, how the fuck did you get that from this?
I mean, I don't really know how to defend the movie from that.
Yeah.
I could argue that, I don't know. I guess that if that may bother you, I don't think it's enough to like take away from it.
No, not at all.
I would say like my only minor complaints is that there is a kind of side plot having to do with an affair. And there's like a sex tape that seems kind of, I don't know. I feel like there could have been a different way to do this plot line.
Yeah.
And it's one, I think it sucks because like this could be a movie that you could show anybody.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean like any age like 13 and up, up until that point where it's like this is kind of graphic.
Yeah.
And I kind of understand why they did it. It does make sense for the plot. I just wish they would have found a different way to do it.
Yeah. All right.
But I mean, you're all adults listening to this, so that's not going to be a problem for you. I'm just saying, if you wanted to show your kid brother who wants to watch horror movies with you, well, now maybe you can.
And maybe if you want to scar your friends and because that's the thing about this movie, the acting is so good
because it's real.
You genuinely believe that it's real, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I totally feel for this family. They lost their daughter, and the mom's having nightmares, and like, oh wait, oh here's another thing. It's on Amazon Prime, and if you're watching on Amazon Prime and trying to trick people, do not pause it, because on Amazon Prime, if you're watching on TV, if you pause a certain scene, it will tell you, the pause button or the pause menu will tell you which actors and characters are in this scene.
Yeah.
So just don't pee beforehand if you want to scare your friends.
And that's only if you want to convincingly make people think this is a real thing.
Mm-hmm. It messed me up. Not messed me up like so much where it's like, oh my god, I didn't have sleep. But it kept me up a little bit, thinking like, oh my god, are ghosts
Did I
real?
See a real ghost? Yeah. Which I mean, I don't know. It is real to anybody listening.
Yeah.
It's it finds a way to be atmospheric and like different types of atmospheric, because there will be convincing atmospheric horror of like I'm getting this sense of dread and everything's kind of dark now.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll also have like there's one shot in this movie that I completely love, and it's really, it doesn't make any difference to the movie, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
It's the shot when they're talking about like her funeral,
mm-hmm.
and they're talking about the funeral home.
Yeah.
There's a shot of the two people who own the funeral home in this white room, and they're like dressed up in a suit, and they're just looking at the camera. And there's something about that frame that like just feels so cold and sad that it always amazes me. Like, this movie is shot so well that they can encapsulate the entire feeling of grief with one image like that.
Yeah.
And then it'll do stuff where it's like, well, we're talking about it and we're narrating it and we're just kind of talking about what's going on so far, and there will be shots of Australia and how beautiful it looks at night. Yeah. They do some really effective cinematography with darkness. Yeah, like they'll stars. Yeah, they'll raise the contrast all the way up to the point where everything seems dark until lightning strikes and then lights up the area. That shit is stunning.
Yeah, oh totally.
There are frames of this movie that could be effective wallpapers.
Yeah.
I mean, like computer wallpapers.
Yeah.
But it also happens to be scary as shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, please do yourself a favor. Get yourself scared. Trick your friends. Check out Lake Mungo.
Yeah, it's a hell of a movie.
But
I'm so glad you showed it to me.
That's another one. Just be patient with it.
Yeah.
It is a little bit... I would say it's a little faster paced than... Noroi. Well, especially because Noroi's like a little over 2 hours.
Well, a little under 2 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was an hour 54.
Oh, I don't know why I always think it's like 2 hours and 10 minutes.
And Lake Mungo is like 88 minutes.
A crisp 88.
Yeah.
Which is the amount that every horror movie should be. Well, I don't know. How long was Hereditary? Like a little over 2 hours or something? Okay, that one's okay.
I think Get Out was like 90 minutes.
Yeah, see? Perfect.
Yeah.
Before it wears out, it's welcome.
Right.
Lake Mungo, good. 5 out of 5 deep dish pizzas until we finally think of a different rating.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought we would find one that would be appropriate for whatever the theme of the episode was. I can't think of one for this. Dead pigeons?
That's depressing.
I could say the name of the demon 5 times.
No. That's okay.
And see if anything happens.
You know.
No. Oh, shit.
Candyman?
Oh, no. Hold on. Now, don't you start. I'm going to throw a curveball at you.
Okay.
Let's talk about Wreck. Because if we're talking mockumentary, I mean real documentary, if we're talking about tricking people, if you show Wreck, and that's REC, as in record, to someone who has zero idea of what Wreck is, they won't even think it's a horror movie at the start.
Yep.
You tell them we're going to watch this actually really funny documentary about firefighters. And then you watch their whole night get ruined.
Yeah, Wreck. Oh, man. I haven't seen Wreck in a while. Probably because, you can't find a good dub of it. Like, or at least on, like, Amazon or Vudu.
You mean, like, a good subtitled version?
Yeah, subtitled version.
Yeah.
It's only the English dub.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Wreck 2 has the Spanish dub.
Yeah, I don't know if there was like a licensing thing, because I remember Rec 2 was picked up by Magnolia.
Okay.
And that's how it got its releasing, and that's how like we saw it at the music boxes. Well, not me and you, but
yeah.
But that's how I saw it at the music box. And Rec 1 for a long time was kind of hard to find.
Yeah.
I think the first time I ever saw it was like on an unauthorized like DVD that had a rip of it. That just happened to have subtitles, so like that was kind of cool. Man, if you can find it like that, watch it like that. It's a cool way to watch it.
And it's even shorter than Lake Mungo. It's barely an hour 20.
You know what? We'll save it. I'll tell people go watch Rec because you should.
Okay.
Especially if anybody listening has zero idea what it is. Don't read the description. Just make sure it's in Spanish with English subtitles. Or if you speak Spanish, just Spanish, I guess.
Yeah.
Just make sure it's not the English dub because it sounds stupid.
Yeah. It's I have Rec 2 on my on my Vudu account. And I've been thinking about watching it because I'm on we're both on Letterboxd, and I made a list of the scariest movies.
Oh, what's your Letterboxd name?
Island Limos.
All one word.
Yeah, all one word. Island Limos.
Now, what's that a reference to?
Collateral.
Collateral is
a 2004 movie starring Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise.
And it's also Michael Mann's best film.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Maybe. I think a lot of people might not agree.
Yeah,
I think so.
I mean, I haven't seen Heat
What else
forever.
is it? Black Hat? I don't think so.
Oh, don't disrespect my movie.
I know.
The Insider is awesome.
Yeah.
Public Enemies. Anyways, but Rec, I made a list of like scariest movies, and I couldn't think of I think of Rec and Rec 2 as perfectly effective, but as like two movies or like one long movie.
Gotcha.
Because it basically is Rec 2 starts immediately after Rec 1 ends.
Yeah, like 5 minutes
right.
after Rec 1
and
ends.
it's effective, man.
And Rec 2 is scary as well, but it does... Rec and Rec 2 have the whole aliens thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Where Rec 2 is still scary, but it's also a little more action heavy.
Yeah.
Whereas Rec 1 is more of a survival film.
Yeah.
People have guns in Rec 2.
Yeah, there's a lot of gunplay.
But it's still pretty scary. But we'll get a full episode of that soon.
All right, yeah.
I just wanted to put it out there because it's kind of like in theme of let's trick people into thinking this is kind of real shit. That being said, we're adults now.
Yeah.
I'm 27. I don't know if I can convincingly trick people unless they're extremely gullible. So if you want to scare your younger cousins or siblings, show them these movies. And then pay for their therapy later.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be worth it for the stories.
Yeah. Sorry for not making this one as, funny, but these are spooky movies. And if you want to get spooked, go at them.